pour ultimefanatic.com. On s'entretient avec Kenny Florian. Kenny, what are you doing in Montreal?
Well, obviously I'm here for the fights. I'm going to be commentating UFC 83 card, so it should be a great experience.
So your last fight against Joe Lozon, I'm sorry,
No
I had a blank. Against Joe Lozon, it went your way. You were pretty hyped for that fight. It was a tough fight, but you went through.
Yeah, anytime you go against someone who really brings that much energy and that much pressure in the first round, it's always a little awkward. He also is a little unorthodox with the way that he moves, so I knew I just had to kind of weather that storm. I made a couple mistakes, but I felt that pretty much dominated the fight, but still there's some things I needed to work out, and I've already started hitting the gym and getting back into it, and looking forward to what the UFC has lined up for me next.
So in Montreal, Saturday, April 19th, history will be made. There's gonna be 22,000 people roaring and cheering. It's gonna be the biggest UFC ever.
It is. It is the biggest UFC ever, and to have it here in Canada, it just shows how fast this sport is growing and how much it's grown, and obviously for a title fight to be in here with obviously a hometown hero in George St-Pierre fighting Serra in a rematch. It just a lot on the line, and the emotions will be running high. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be crazy in there.
So you're going to replace Joe Rogan, right?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I'll be replacing Joe. Yeah.
So and are you going to be in the corner of somebody or no?
No. I'll just be concentrating on just doing the commentating, and I'll be watching the fights as if I'm watching at home, just kind of telling everyone what do I think about each fight, and I'm looking forward to it. A lot of great fights on this card, and it's gonna be crazy just hearing the crowd and the excitement. Obviously several Canadians fighting on the card, so I'm looking forward to it.
What's next for Kenny Florian?
No idea yet. Still waiting on hearing from the UFC, and hopefully I'll find out in the next couple weeks, and hoping to fight sometime again, hopefully soon, in a few months, hopefully by summertime, and hopefully it's someone tough. It could be for a title fight, and it could be against another guy in another tough fighter in the lightweight division. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the UFC has in store for me. I'm already training, and looking forward to that opportunity.
Because honestly, you proved what you had to prove, and you did a war against the champion who was stripped from the belt, Sean Shirk. He's facing BJ Penn. For sure, you'd like to face one of those two?
Oh, definitely. BJ Penn, I consider him a legend, one of the most talented fighters in the world today, and obviously Sean Shirk, a former champion, a person who beat me already. So I would love the opportunity to fight him again in a rematch, and both I see advantages to both of those fights, and I'm training hard every day, and I know that those guys are at the top of their game, and when I fight them, for sure I'll be at the top of my game.
Because honestly, you're up there. I mean, there's not a lot of guys in front of you. If you're not the number one contender, you're not far, because there's not a lot of guys that proved and beat the guys that you were able to beat. So I'm sure that next time we're going to see Kenny Florian, it's for the title.
I hope so. I hope so. I'm ready for whatever the UFC has in store for me, and I'll definitely be ready.
Thanks. Hey, the question that kills, the prediction. Who's going to win between Serra and George St-Pierre?
Oh, man, it's tough to say. Right now, being a commentator, for this one, I don't think I should say, and I don't want to be biased, but, right now, both of those guys have opportunities to win that fight, and both the guys are unbelievable fighters. George St-Pierre is going in there and saying, listen, it was a fluke last time. I'm going in there and I'm going to prove that it was a fluke. Serra is going in there and saying, listen, it wasn't a fluke. I'm going to go out there, do it again in his hometown. So there's a lot at stake. Both guys, emotions are running high. Both guys want to prove something out there, and I'm going to sit back and watch and see let it unfold. But both those guys have done amazing things in their career, and I'm sure they're going to continue to do great things.
And I'm sure that it's going to be electrifying April 19th.
It's going to be deafening. I'm not even sure I'll be able to hear myself as I commentate the fight as when George St-Pierre walks there, or when Matt Serra walks out there with the booze. So it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool to see and feel and hear.
But I'm anxious to see, because I heard that there's a lot of Americans that came down, come in for the fight. So maybe the crowd is going to be. I don't think so. I think the Bell Center is going to blow up when GSP comes out.
I think so. New York isn't too far away. Sure, there's going to be some New York fans in the house, but you know, the Canadian fans will probably overwhelm the New York fans. So it's going to be cool to see. Probably something we haven't seen in a long time. You know, obviously, you know, the passion that you guys have for hockey is amazing, but there's a special energy when a fight comes around, and it's going to be cool to see.
Aren't you from Boston?
I am. I'm from.
Oh, look at you, man.
I'm not actually a big fan, but I am from Boston, and you know, I'm always happy to see Boston do well. Right now, we're not doing so well against you guys. Our backs are up against the wall right now as far as hockey goes. But I'm saving my cheers for the Patriots and the Red Sox right now.
So I don't know if the Bell Center is going to be able to hold the crowd tonight and the crowd Saturday.
That's it. I think I may be better off if you guys win. If we win, I go in there as a Boston fan, maybe I'll have some problems. So
thanks a lot, Kenny. You're a class act, and good luck for your career, man.
Thanks so much.